It's described as a hidden gem. It is also a disappearing gem. And with every storm, Manasota Key is washing away, threatening not only the beach, but homes. We hear all the time about beach nourishment projects, but why not here? Christopher Brantley is here to explain. Christopher.
Well, Alan, when many of those homeowners bought their homes, they had several hundred yards of beach, and many never thought something like this could ever happen. But it's happening now, and the process to fix it could take a while. The beautiful island of Manasota Key is on both sides surrounded by water. But it's the Gulf side that seems to be garnering the most attention, as over time and through storms, the once vast sandy beach has little left.
Our foundation is now exposed and the home is at risk.
Harry Arts bought his home in September of last year. He never thought this would happen.
It was in January when we had our first bad storm, and it took out a whole lot of sand. So that was our first experience with it.
Storms in January washed away so much sand he got approval to bring in more, which he did. But it did little to stop Tropical Storm Colin, which came through in June. In anticipation of Hurricane Hermine, Arts got approval to put out small sandbags to protect his home.
I guess we've spoken with 3 contractors and 2 engineers, and each of them has suggested it's really not worth doing. In fact, the cost to have it done is very high.
Those small sandbags cost $37 a bag, and almost all that he put out pre-Hermine were all washed away post-Hermine. Today, the underside of his home is exposed. The foundation cracked. Just down the road, Charles Miller was unable to put out any sandbags.
Our neighbors had experience, and the small sandbags really don't do a thing.
Those small sandbags have been approved by Sarasota County to be put out on the beach. But Miller wanted larger, heavier sandbags, which require approval from state agencies. He hoped they would have less of a chance of being washed away. But because he has an application into state agencies, during Hurricane Hermine, he wasn't allowed to put any sandbags on the beach, even the county-approved ones. And he blames Governor Rick Scott.
He declares the state of emergency, but with that state of emergencies, there's really no directive to the Florida Fish and Wildlife or the DEP to make common sense decisions in order to protect people's homes.
All of this is happening in Sarasota County, but just south in Charlotte County, they're seeing the same problem.
The long-term plan that the county is working on is to re-nourish the beach and bring more sand in.
But that's also complicated. Years ago, Charlotte County conducted a study that said the beach needed renourishment. Homeowners said no.
Since they had a beach, they did not want to become part of it, even though it was in the study that this was a potential problem that could happen.
And now they do. Some major condo buildings are dangerously close to being condemned, and some already have been. Charlotte County has been aggressively working to find a solution.
Who's going to foot that bill? And obviously, you know, living here, they want us to foot the majority of it.
Back on the Sarasota side, Harry Arts wants to add a rock revetment to protect his home. But Sarasota County leaders haven't favored that idea in the past, and there's another problem.
$27,000 in permits and engineering fees and application fees per owner just to be told by the county yes or no, and they've not said yes since 2008.
And we want to tell you about one more homeowner we've introduced you to in the past. 91-year-old Betty Gothrop. Her home was damaged in storms earlier this year. Much of her deck had been washed away, and her home is not far behind. In anticipation of Hurricane Hermine with heavy winds and rain, she decided to pack up and leave. We're told she's remaining in Boston until a solution is decided on. Interestingly, her 90-year-old husband decided to stay behind.
I wonder what that conversation was like. Thanks a lot, Christopher.